Welcome. It's a Saturday morning on KLOE, Goodland, Kansas. Welcome. It's Gardening with the Garden Guru, Christie Rasure, presented by Shores Bumper to Bumper, downtown Goodland. Oh, my goodness, they've been open since 5 this morning, getting ready for the county fair. Christie Rasure, nice to have you with us. You're getting ready for the big fair,
yes,
and fairs with plural.
But yeah, I was going to say, let's say plural, because there's a lot of county fairs going on, and when you judge, you do a lot of them.
Oh, mine. I believe it. I believe it. Well, nice to have you with us. And again, Shores Bumper to Bumper. Boy, what a great place. I know they've been selling hoses and water sprinkler systems and sprinkler little units and everything else. It's been busy. It's been hot and dry.
It has. It's been very hot and dry, and we've got to just keep those plants going, and especially our trees. And so, yes, if you don't have enough sprinklers, if you don't have enough hoses, I know where you can go get them, because we've got an investment in our property and we don't want to lose those. So let's keep them going. Well,
that's so true. And Shores, they have the different lengths of 25, 75, I think probably 100-foot hoses, whatever you need. I like those Flexogen hoses that Shores Bumper to Bumper have downtown Goodland.
They are one of the hoses that you buy and you have for a long time, unless you take a lawnmower to them, which I did the other day, and needless to say, I'm going to have to go and see Greg, because he's going to have to fix one for me.
Hey, that's another thing. Folks may not know that Shores will repair the hoses.
They will, and the thing is, they put a factory end on them, and that's what's great about it. So not only am I just having it fixed, but I'm having it fixed the way it was. And so it'll be a, brand new hose when I'm done.
And the way it was.
The way it was, exactly. So it was just one of those things that I slipped and went in the wrong spot.
Well, that's all right. At least you admitted your mistake.
Well, that's the thing. But at least I'm not, because Flexogen hoses are not that cheap type of hose that, you might have to replace. It's one of those that you're going to have for a long time. And so it's one of those things that I want to repair it and have it like new again.
Yeah.
And so I will.
Well, leave it to Shores, downtown Goodland. They've been open since 5 this morning, and boy, is that handy for gardeners or people that need lawn or garden equipment or tools or anything for their car or truck. It's right there in stock.
That's right. I was going to say, and the one thing is, always make your list, check it twice, as we say at Christmas, and make sure that you get all the supplies and everything you need. And then you can get everything, go home, get your work done, and then go in and be cool.
I like it. And the other thing, too, Shores do that if you don't really know exactly what you want, you can describe what you want to do, and they can take care of that and help you.
That's right, exactly. And the thing is, there's a lot of times, and even I've done that, and, or I've been in businesses where I've been helping with customers like that. You know exactly what you want, but you can't put it right, the exact thing to the words to it, or describe it, or whatever. And you know what? Those guys can help you. They know what you're talking about.
Well, they've got a good selection, especially those great Fertilome yard and garden products. Pretty big one, too.
They do. And so I was going to say, they'll know your problems, and if you've got a problem with, like bugs, weeds, anything like that, you could actually go on the Fertilome website, which is www.fertilome.com, and find out your problem, and then go down to Shores and actually get all your chemical or sprays or whatever you need and get the problem taken care of.
So convenient. I love it. Well, Christie, the big thing is we've had heat and we've had wind, and boy, what a summer this has been.
It has. I don't think any of us are ever going to forget this one. And the thing is, like we talked earlier, we have an investment in our property, be it trees, be it flowers, be it lawn, and we don't know what our winter is going to be like, so we really need to make sure that we're watering heavy. We need to make sure that we're watering enough to keep everything alive, because we don't want to lose them. And so we want to make sure that we are keeping those well watered. When we are watering trees, it's wise not to just put it at the base or the trunk of the tree. Take that hose out a ways. Do it whether you put a sprinkler, and when I say sprinkler, I always put something that's going to be very low, so you don't have the evaporation ahead or overhead. Or take a soaker hose, which Shores have a lot of different types of soaker hoses, or just take your hose and just let it, as I call it, dribble on the ground, just very slow, and just move it out a little ways. And what we want to do is take it all the way out to the drip line and make sure it is well watered.
Well watered, I like that. And don't be in a big hurry. You can't do it all in a half-hour time period. You've got to kind of plan out your water usage.
Right, exactly. You really do. And so make sure that you are, when I'm soaking trees like that, I just do it 24 hours. I just go and take it out, and I don't know if the city is on water rationing or not. Since I don't live, I'm not sure how.
Well, they haven't told the radio anything, so I don't, as far as I know, they're not.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So,
I was going to say, so, you can go and leave those hoses on 24 hours and just leave it on just a little bit. Just go and trickle just a little bit and be watering those trees. And shrubs, make sure your shrubs are well watered. Sometimes we forget about them because usually they're closer to the house, and we'll forget about them. And we think, oh, they're getting enough from being watered through our sprinkler system and all that, and that's not always true. They need to have a good, deep soaking.
And shores have timers, too.
They do. They do. And they have the battery-operated timers. They have, the regular timers where you just turn them on. I've gotten those where all I have to do is just turn them on for a couple hours. They water, and when they're done, they're done. And then if I'm not going to be around, I don't have to worry about my water just running.
Very good. And shores, bumper to bumper, downtown, just north of 17th, they can take care of that for you and help you. Now, last week, just real quick, Christy, we talked about a sprinkler system or a sprinkler device that shoots the water up about 10 or 12 feet in the air under a big arc. Boy, that's a lot of water wasted in the air, isn't it?
It is. It is. I don't like to use those kind of, because we're losing so much in the evaporation and all that. You want to take something that is taking down low and keep it low to the ground as much as possible.
Good idea. Good idea. Well, shores have been busy. You've been busy. What else do you want to focus on? Fair time coming up.
Yeah, it is fair time. And, one of the things that we like to see people enter things into the fair, whether it is your item or maybe your neighbor has something really pretty or a really nice-looking vegetable or something, and so go over, ask them if you can enter for them, and take something into the fair for maybe a neighbor who can't do it or something. Or if you have something, bring something out to the fair. One of the things that you want to make sure is that it is clean. If you are taking a flower, or vegetables are different, I'll talk about them here in a little bit, but on flowers, it's best to cut them in the evening, say the night before, which in Sherman County, we will be doing judging on flowers for open class and 4-H on Tuesday morning. And so it's wise, like Monday evening, to go and clip those flowers. Always make sure you do them in the evening, and I like to do it once the sun goes down and when it's cooler. And then you can go ahead and take care of your flowers and make sure that you have clean containers. Put a little sugar, 7-Up, anything like that, anything for a preservative in that water, so they'll take that up. It's just like we like sugar water. Flowers do too.
Yeah. Now, you're not talking like a cup of water and a gallon of water. I mean, a cup of sugar and a gallon of water.
No,
you mean like a spoon or two?
Oh, I'm talking like for a gallon of water, maybe like half a teaspoon.
Oh.
A glug, as we usually say, glug of 7-Up. I mean, we're just talking a little tiny bit.
Okay.
We're not talking much at all. And so if you are, like in Sherman County, we have our own vases that you bring your flowers in, and then we put all the flowers in specific vases for our fair. So everything is uniform. Everything looks very nice. And what we do is we have Clorox water in them because our fair is long enough, comes in on Tuesday, doesn't leave until Saturday. So needless to say, we have to keep the algae from growing, and we want to keep those flowers from rotting any more than possible. And so needless to say, we put Clorox water in our water. And but when you're processing your flowers on Monday evening, go ahead and cut those. Make sure it's on the slant, and then put them in the warm water so that it'll drink all that water up. And then on Tuesday morning, bring your fresh flowers to the flower show and have them judged. We'd love to see more flowers all the time at the flower show.
It'll be interesting to see what the flower numbers and the floriculture will be this year.
Yeah, I'm wondering that too, because we've had a lot of had a lot of heat. We've had everything's been so early, and everything. I mean, a lot of people are saying they're not going to have a lot of stuff blooming, and yet a lot of the flowers that we see after the fair, are blooming now. And so it'd be neat to see something totally different.
Yeah.
And so, I'm just anxious to see what does come in. I think it'll be good.
Well, we'll hope for the best.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah.
Good. Now, there'll be a lot of, you say open class too.
Open class or 4-H, either one, will be Tuesday morning is when we do those.
Wow. And I've seen some beautiful years where we've been surprised.
Oh, that's so true. And the thing is, now on vegetables, you want to make sure that they are clean. If you bring an onion in, you want to make sure that it's very clean. You want to make sure that you don't want bugs on them. You don't want to have them have dirt on them. So you want to make sure all your vegetables look nice and clean and healthy looking when you bring them into the fair.
Now, a couple of years ago, you had a huge, head of lettuce or cabbage?
Cabbage.
Cabbage, yeah. Are you even close to anything this year like that?
No, I was going to say, I've got cabbage, and they're going to be later, but I am very glad that they are, because that way they usually have got a better flavor when they're later like that, and so I'm really excited about that. I've got nice onions, very happy with those. Been picking, of course, zucchini, some cucumbers, and tomatoes. I've had some tomatoes. Green beans, probably this next week we'll start picking those. A friend of mine shared some wonderful sweet corn. Oh, that was so good.
Ooh.
And that was great. That was a nice treat to have had new potatoes that I bought at the farmer's market. And so, it's been, for the fact that it's been so hot, actually the produce has been very good. I've been very pleased.
Yeah, I know it's sweet corn time, and different people have planted sweet corn 1 week, and then they waited a couple weeks and planted another batch of it, and it's just really going well.
Yeah, that it really is. And I was going to say, I know a number of people who have done that, and actually a friend of mine just planted again the other day, and hopefully for a September crop. It'll be towards the end of September, but it should be a good, unless we get an early freeze, he should be able to have it.
Who knows what's coming?
Really, and the way this year is going, nobody has a clue. So it's just take some chances.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing we have to do. Now, I'll probably do it next week, but I will actually be planting carrots and beets again. I've done that before and had a late crop, and they're wonderful.
Well, those are colorful vegetables, too.
They are, but the flavor in the fall is just so good, and so that's why I like to plant them now for a fall crop.
All right, good enough. Stick around. You're listening to Gardening with the Garden Guru, Christie Rasure, presented every Saturday morning at this time on KLOE Goodland, AM 730, and Shores Bumper to Bumper, downtown Goodland, and Fertilome Yard and Garden Products. They're in charge of the show. Christie Rasure, your master gardener and the garden guru. Christie's going to be busy this week. You're always busy. Christie, some judging on your part of the county fairs, too.
Yeah, I was going to say, I get to change hats this week, and it's kind of fun. And so anybody that wants to come out and ask questions, you're more than welcome to. I will be doing Thomas County on Monday evening. And when I usually do Thomas County, I do a judging school also.
Oh.
And so you actually get to be there. You can actually come and watch us judge. And what we do is judge each item, one item at a time. And then what I always try to do is write comments on the back of the cards. If it's iron chlorotic, which means that it needs some iron or something, if it's got a bug problem, if it's got a fungus problem, and we can tell that kind of stuff, then I try to write that down. I try to compare, especially on their fair, because where I'm trying to demonstrate and teach, people about different things like that. What I usually do is a comparison and all, and so it'll be just a fun fair to go and do that too. If I remember right, I'm doing horticulture, floriculture, and crops over there. So that will be Monday evening. And then Tuesday, I'm here on Sherman County's. I do not judge because it is Sherman County's, but I'm superintendent for the 4-H flower show. So come in. I will be there in the morning. And then I do Cheyenne County on Wednesday morning. So it'll be just a fun, crazy week.
It sounds like it. Well,
Yeah.
it's exciting when you get to see, and the nice thing too, Christie Rasure, is you get to share your knowledge with the students and those that are putting in the exhibits so they can do better.
That's right. Well, exactly, and that's what I love to do, conference judging. I'm not sure how much of that I'm going to actually get to do, but I love to do that and work with especially the 4-H kids, because that way they can learn, and they can see the different things that we are talking about, rather than just what we are saying, writing on the cards. We actually get to talk to them, too.
Well, it's good feedback on both sides.
It is. It really is. And so we really like to do, that's one of those things I really enjoy doing.
Yeah.
And so we'll see where we do that kind of stuff.
Sure. Hey, just real quick, while I think about it, as you're on the fairgrounds, are you going to get to help Greg and the crew at Shores Bumper to Bumper run the Roundup, the carnival ride in Goodland?
I have told him I was going to try to one evening. So his ride is a little hard on the body,
Yeah.
as far as, because we have to use the straps and everything. But I enjoy doing that. I will be working a couple rides, different things, and then I'll be taking tickets for the fair board one night also. So you'll see me out there. I enjoy helping with the fair, and it's a good time to be able to see a lot of people.
It is. In fact, hats off to all the home-owned carnivals and the county fairs that have already been going on. There's just so many great people that put those on, and a lot of people we never hear about or see about, but they're there in the background somewhere.
Exactly. And the fair boards, thank you.
Oh,
thank you
yes.
so much for all the hours that you guys give for the people who take care of those rides and make sure that they do have enough people to work those rides. There's a lot of people that do a lot of things that we never think about. But the fair board members in every county, thank you. I appreciate you more than you know. And our extension people, they go through a lot too, so we really do appreciate them.
Well, I hope the parents bring the kids to see the different exhibits too, not just the rides, but maybe get there a little bit earlier and go through the barns, go through the floriculture, the horticulture, the vegetables, the 4-H displays, so the kids get a little education too.
Exactly. And I will have to say, a couple of years ago, because I have always worked our fair, I have never, I go out there and I work it, or I'm a superintendent or different things like that. But to go to the fair, I hadn't done that, as to say. And a few years ago, I had a sister-in-law that was in town. Well, actually, I had 3 sister-in-laws in town, and all of us went. And we had more fun. And, it was fun to see the fair in a different light. And so I am so hoping that tonight I get to go to the fair.
Well,
and then
I hope you do.
I'm hoping it works that way, that we get to. Because you need to go, especially if you go with somebody from out of town. It is just so much fun. And we didn't have kids with us. We were just adults, just having a good time, and it's just a good, clean fun. It's just a lot of laughs, see a lot of people, and just have a great time.
Yeah, it is so true. And the Sherman County Community Carnival Committee, that's a group that I'm on with the rides and the booths and the games and everything, plus all the other county fairs. Golly, thank you and hats off to you folk. Christie, we have about 10 minutes left. What else do you want to share with us here on Gardening with the Garden Guru, Christie Rasure?
Well, I was going to say, one of the things that Greg had gotten in, and we've talked on just kind of slowly, and just kind of talked a little bit about it, is the siphon system, fertilizing system that you hook up to your sprinklers. You can hook them up to your underground sprinklers. You can hook them up to your water hydrant. And it is a wonderful thing to be able to feed your garden. It's a wonderful thing to be able to put not herbicide, but fungicide or an insect control on if you're having problems with that, because you can do a large area at one time. And what's so neat about it is you hook it up to your hydrant, and then you hook your hose up to this container. You pour in, if it is a fertilizer, it has to be a water-soluble fertilizer, which Shores do have. Fertilome makes one. Or you can put a fungicide in there. You can put like a grub control if you're having grubs on your lawn. Go ahead and put that in there, and then turn on your hydrant if you're going to go above ground. If you're going to go into a sprinkler system, you'd have to talk to Greg on that because I've not hooked one up like that. But anyway, it actually puts on the chemical or fertilizer right at the same time as it's watering. It's doing it. What a neat way talk about a time saver. And this has been a really good thing. I put the Revive on when it first turned hot, because what Revive does is it makes your water wetter. It puts a low dose of iron on there. It also just opens up that soil to take that moisture and to really make your fertilizers work well.
Well, that watering device that you hook up, that sounds very simple.
It is very simple. I mean, it took maybe 5 minutes. I don't even think it took me that long to hook it up. And the thing is, I have left it on. Even when I'm not using it, the water just runs right through it. It's no big deal. So I have just left it on. So then whenever I need to add whatever I need to add, then I can. I don't have to put it on and take it off all the time. I haven't had to do that. So it's just great. You'll just have to do it in the fall before it freezes. Make sure that you get it off then.
Oh, certainly.
Right.
Yeah,
so make sure you do that. The other thing is, if you are struggling with certain areas in your yard, trying to keep them watered, maybe this is a great time to be thinking, okay, this is when I really need to think about a sprinkler system, whether it's above ground or an underground system. And Shores has all the parts for either way, underground sprinkler systems and above ground sprinkler systems. And when I say above ground, they have everything from the drippers to the microjet sprayers, which actually you can do 45-degree angle, you can do 90 degrees, you name it. You can do a full circle 360. These are really neat jets, and they're spinners. They throw out a lot of water, but very low to the ground. And so water really well. And I've used this before. I'm really happy with it, and it just does a wonderful job. And that way it makes your life a lot easier.
Oh, well, sure. Yeah. And you're going to use your water more effectively.
It is. It really is. And the other thing is, if you've got a lot of container gardens, and you're tired of taking the hose and watering this one and that one and this one, go and actually go down and talk to them and get the main line, and then they've got what we call spaghetti tubing, which will take it right down to the planter. Oh. And you can put the drippers on there, put a timer on. These are the battery-operated timers that probably be best there, and so it'll come on a certain time every day. And you can actually be watering your planter and not having to worry about it.
I like that. Again, timing and using the water like you should.
Right, exactly. So it's just one of those things you can do that. That's another one of those things where you can do your inline water or fertilizing system. You could put one of those with your container gardens, and it could be doing that, watering and fertilizing at the same time. Yeah,
I think folks are surprised when they see Shores and all the selection of parts and pieces and agriculture chemicals that they have and yard and garden Fertilome products. They're just amazed.
Yes, and I was going to say, if your garden is producing so abundantly and profusely, what you can go do is go and get one of those wonderful carts and have a great big cart full of produce. That's what we like to see.
Yeah, like a cart of plenty.
That's right, exactly.
Hey, I think you'll see some of those carts out even on the fairgrounds.
Really?
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah, those are good. Yeah. Put a lot of your feed and supply in there for the hogs, the sheep, the cows, the corn, whatever.
Yeah, that'd be great, because I'm saying they're just so handy. They're a wonderful tool, very heavy duty. You don't have to worry about, them falling apart real quick, because they're not. They're one of those you're going to pass down generation to generation.
Oh, yeah, very ruggedly built. And well, Greg's not going to get any cheap piece of equipment that falls apart the second time you use it.
That's right, exactly.
And I know Keith won't either. So
yeah, exactly.
Well, they're busy. Well, what else we got, Christy? We've talked watering and the fairs and entries and gardens and how to cut the flowers and timers for water and everything. We've got about 4 minutes left. What's your big focus?
As far as, anything else, main thing is just keeping everything watered, keeping everything as cool as you can keep it. Make sure that you're mulching. If you are catching your grass clippings, make sure you're putting them around your plants. Don't haul them to the landfill. And a lot of people say, you don't do that. And I said, no, make sure you save those, because we need to mulch as much as we can. If you have an area where you're just struggling trying to keep everything watered, go out and get some mulch, make sure that it's mulched well so that you're not wasting water. That's the main thing right now. We're just trying to keep everything alive and cool and basically alive. I should just say it that way, because that's the main thing right now. It's just keeping everything alive.
Yeah, and the mulching now, that does help hold the water in the ground once you get it watered?
Yes, it does. And it keeps those roots of that plant cool too.
You wouldn't think it would do all that much.
It does a lot. It really does. And, that's just one of those things that I've always believed in, is make sure that you keep everything well mulched at all times, because it does just a wonderful job of keeping those plants alive. When I plant a tree, when I plant any kind of perennials or anything like that, I always make sure that they are well mulched in the very beginning, because those roots don't want, just like us, we don't want to bake, and those roots are so tender that we need to be taking very extra special care of those.
Yeah, I think one place you'll see a lot of flowers this weekend, not only at county fairs, but next weekend, of course, the Summer Olympics in London. Boy, they've got some beautiful flowers, and you could bet they've used Fertilome products.
Oh, well, yeah, I would hope so. But I was going to say, you're going to see some gorgeous stuff and get some ideas on what you can do here, too.
I like it. Well, Christy, you've been busy. You're going to get busier. And if folks have questions that they want to visit with you, or maybe they don't catch you at one of the fairs, how can they visit with you or reach you on that?
A lot of times you can get me on Facebook, I'm not always on Facebook, but you can go and catch us on Facebook, Shores or myself. Either one of us are on Facebook. You can leave messages at Shores for me or for Greg, either one. Or you can stop by Designs Unlimited here in downtown Goodland and talk to me here, too. Oh,
that makes it so nice. Oh, wait, real quick before we go, how's your tomato plants doing you've been working on?
They've been doing well. I've actually had quite a few tomatoes.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you going to make salsa?
If I get enough and if I get some time, I probably will.
Listen, my next-door neighbors brought me over some salsas and cucumbers, and I forgot what the other stuff was, but it was really nice from their garden, and their youngsters did most of the work in the garden. I thought that was really great.
That's great. And, that's the thing. That's the most important part of gardening is sharing. And I think every master gardener will ever tell you that's why we enjoy gardening so much, is to share.
So much. And a lot of folks at 9th and Center, the Farmers Market in Goodland, it's going on right now, so they're sharing too and getting rid of their crops and all the goodies. Well, Christy, we're just out of time. I tell you, it just goes so fast when you're spewing forth the knowledge and getting all the information out and about to our listeners. I appreciate that.
Well, no problem. That's what we're here for, and that's what we're trying to do, is educate everybody on what we know.
You do. And it's all brought to you by Shores Bumper to Bumper, downtown Goodland, and those great quality Fertilome yard and garden products. Christie Rasure, Master Gardener and Garden Guru. What do you remind us?
Always keep those hands dirty and water, water, water.
Great. Well, we'll see you at the fair. Thanks, Christy.
Thanks.
It's KLOE Goodland. I'm Curtis Duncan. Enjoy the weekend.